What? What happened to you? Hey, you alive? Hey, you.
Guys, it's malleable music. It can move and it's fluid, and it might mean something different to me in 6 months, but it's honest.
And Kate Staples. She just sort of look for stuff that's a little bit challenging and something I can't quite do and see if I can master it.
We'll be.
86.99. Average of 1 kg, 1.35, 1.36.
Company acknowledging here that the pandemic will shrink its business permanently.
Yes, that seems to be a given. Last year they said that in the end Lufthansa will definitely be smaller than before. And today, Mr. Spohr, the CEO, was giving downward corrected numbers in terms of his outlook or even for fleet in the future. Before the crisis, Lufthansa Group altogether had about 800 aircraft. Out of these, 500 are grounded today.
Already beginning to grapple with its uncharted implications for their workforces. Clouding Mosques
Hey, stop fighting. Hey, hey.
should be met.
So these are actually adults to the babies that I got earlier. And they are the reason why I got babies. Because these guys are about 7 pounds by now. Yep, you're 7 pounds, man. So they're the reason why we stopped buying chicken. Like, they don't live in a cage, they only sleep in a cage. And they eat fruit and grass and, well, a little bit of feed supplemented with feed. I can't say a little because they do eat a lot, but they're quite healthy, like, and happy and friendly. And I guess you might be wondering if it smells bad. They just like roam free in the backyard. No, it doesn't smell bad actually, because they live in the grass and they poop in the grass and then they scratch and it covers it up. And so yeah, it's pretty amazing. Why you look at me like that? Kind of squeamish, but other than that, quite healthy and happy. We have 8 of them, which I think is a tad too much to manage, so 6 is a more manageable number. But yeah, all of them are here under our beloved 5-finger tree, and they eat the fruit that falls and grass and all of those nice, lovely things. Like, in terms of cost and like quality, I don't know like how we can ever go back to a pluck shop and buy chicken, because they are our second batch, and the taste is totally different. Like, I've never tasted fresh chicken, tasty chicken, big pieces of chicken like this before. Like, no joke, no boasting, no nothing. Like, they're happy. It's a reflection of how happy and relaxed they really are.
Blast of Venom Town, and children have exploded at their parents with words that they have leveled the entire family like a bomb. In James 190, you must
So I don't have a spreadsheet for most things, but I have a spreadsheet for this. And I really started tracking expenses from May of 2020. A lot of the upfront costs were really in setting up, getting things built. I mean, that's not reflected here. So, I mean, not bad from starting from May, but this year we had some expenses because we bought some rebar, some galvanize. So, there are several things that account for the cost in estimating how much it actually costs to rear the birds in the way that we do. We don't only have broilers in the yard, we have 4 layers and 3 yard fowl hens. But the broilers eat about 80% of the food that we buy. Especially this amount of broilers is probably the most we've ever done. We got 6 with our first batch, 1 died, and we ended up with 5, and they were like super. So I wouldn't really know in terms of cost and yield, I think, until we slaughter them and then we weigh them and we see how it stacks up. But I mean, other hidden things like it's the fact that they roam free, they're not in a cage. Could you really put a price to those things? I don't think so. Like people who do cage free animals and organic, and I don't think ours are organic, but dude, those are like really expensive. And especially the size of birds that we have. Some people would say, oh, they're probably, you have to cook them extra, they're probably too hard. We've had birds of this size before and they weren't. The texture of the meat was really good because these birds run around. I mean, funny enough, when we let the layers out on evenings to roam the yard, because they're in a separate enclosure, they have like some bullying hierarchy pecking order thing going on. They actually run the broilers down, and like that encourages them to like exercise. But they're not stressed out, to that extreme extent. But all in all, apart from cost, value for money, all of that, it's really a rewarding experience. The only thing is, I would say, is I try not to get attached to them, even though for every batch they have like specific personalities. So one would like chirp a lot and we'd call them chirpy, and one might be lazy, so we might call them doopy, and everybody's name rhymes. But I think it really helps taking it to the pluck shop, because I remember we had more yard fowls before. This is all since COVID started. This was not a thing before. This was like, if I had to make a show about look what COVID make me do, chickens would be top of the list. Like, yeah. So that helps a lot, because when we had to get rid of some of the yard fowls before, and my aunt, because that's a thing that generation is used to, not my generation, millennials. Yeah, she just like cut the neck of the chicken, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't eat it because I saw how it died. And yeah, so the pluck shop eliminates that. I don't have to see it. I didn't think that would affect me, but it did. And I could probably get why people, it's a life and blah blah blah. Have I eaten less chicken since we started rearing our own? Probably. And I attributed it to just being satisfied in terms of being satiated when I eat it, because the taste is good, the texture is good. So I don't need so much of it to feel satisfied. So yeah, rearing chickens is great. I don't think that it's like an issue in the suburban area that I live in. I don't live in a bougie area, just a regular middle income suburban area, and so far it's fine. We can't exceed the maximum amount. This amount, when I say maximum, this amount, this is comfortable. I think anything over what we have now will be a very smelly and uncomfortable situation, not only for us, for our neighbors, but for right now it works. It's so amazing and interesting to see how like vegetation and soil and just the transfer of nutrients from animals to back to plants, you know, that cool stuff that you learned in bio that you didn't think you'd use. Yeah, you'd appreciate it more when you know, start rearing your own animals. I know a lot of people over the pandemic would have ventured into home gardens. I'd be curious to know how many of those gardens survived to 2021, because this month is gonna make it a year in the pandemic. And with the rising price of food, I mean, even the price of feed, chicken feed, is going up, and it's reflected in the cost of those little pigeons that they selling over at Massey. So just to get a little more control over our food security and a decent, healthy, wholesome source of protein, this is the reason why we did it. So if you want to know how we actually rear them, there's a link below. Not my YouTube channel. Somebody else in my house apparently makes YouTube videos, and good stuff though. Very detailed and thorough. The link is in the description box below. Go check it out. That's it for this. I never end vlogs like that, but yeah, usually I'd put like some footage of Pee-wee, my dog. But nah, too miserable. Tomorrow for that. Bye.